this is a tragic reminder of why President Trump and his administration are putting so much time and effort into trying to end this war and achieve durable peace. Now, joining me live is Elina Beketova, a non-resident fellow at the Center for European Policy Analysis. So welcome, Elina. First off, Ukraine saying that this is the deadliest attack so far this year. We've seen the death toll, 34 civilians, could go higher. Clearly here there is some question marks about whether this US brokered ceasefire proposal is really working.
Hello, Ritika. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, despite several negotiation tracks and significant US diplomatic efforts, the Kremlin continues its brutal war of aggression against Ukraine. Russia has chosen to escalate, not honor the ceasefire proposed by the US. And unfortunately, we see the consequences. The Kremlin isn't respecting ceasefire efforts, it's exploiting them. These attacks make one thing clear: only force can stop Russia.
And speaking of force, we've heard Marco Rubio express his deepest condolences on this latest attack, but they're not really upping that pressure on Russia in a significant way. Rubio has previously said that Trump won't fall into the trap of endless negotiations. But do you think that is actually possible? I mean, why aren't the talks seem to be going anywhere?
Well, yeah, Ukrainians deeply appreciate that the United States is their most important ally, and we heard strong statements from key officials today. But everyone agrees this war should end because Ukrainians are suffering every day. But the reality is it's still unclear whether Russia has any real interest in peace or a ceasefire. Putin isn't just ignoring diplomatic efforts, what we're seeing right now. He's mocking them. Without real pressure, whether through tougher sanctions or increased military support, he will continue to act with impunity. Appeasement doesn't work with Putin. Strength does.
And the big issue here is that Ukraine has lost some crucial support from the US. So is it only likely to get worse from here unless Europe steps up?
Well, it's a great question. Hopefully, the U.S. will stay the biggest ally of Ukraine. And unfortunately, what we're seeing right now is that more needs to be done by both the U.S. and Europe, because key steps include increasing sanctions on Russia's financial and energy sectors, releasing frozen assets to support Ukraine, and imposing secondary sanctions on Russia's backers like China, Iran, and North Korea. If a ceasefire is reached, the U.S. should support a European-led coalition of the willing to help enforce it. Also, to strengthen Ukraine's defense, both the U.S. and Europe must invest in joint defense production. So Europe also has a critical role to play in accelerating Ukraine's path to European Union membership. All in all, there is a lot to do by both the United States and Europe.
And just briefly, are we seeing any progress when it comes to the minerals deal with Washington and in exchange for military help?
Well, unfortunately, we know that the negotiations are still taking place. But, well, we know that it's important to have the U.S. as a strategic partner. So that is why Ukraine is better to sign this deal. But of course, when we see the document, then we will be able to say what is there exactly.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much to Elina Beketova for her insights.
Thank you for having me.